Welcome to another episode of the Online Prosperity Experience podcast. You're about to hear your host, Prosper Taravinga's powerful digital marketing strategies and actionable tactics that you can use right now. Prosper has helped more than 50,000 people from over 10 countries to create meaningful businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. Listen to this podcast so that you too can build your own business with less stress and overwhelm. Let's get started.
Here's a new approach when things don't go as planned. Now, a lot of things are going to be happening in your business, and most of them are not going to be in your favor. Remember, you're dealing with people that are looking for solutions, and those solutions are all about them. They will, be looking for happiness. They're looking to be richer. They're looking to be thinner, and they're looking to be better than other people around them. None of that has got anything to do with you. So if you're going to be a coach or consultant that is hoping that everything, every sale, every client works in your favor, I'm here to tell you that it's normal for things to not always go as planned in business. And I got a question, when was the last time in your business or maybe in your life that things didn't actually go as planned? I mean, assuming you can answer that question, then obviously you're not alone, all right? The reason I'm actually speaking on this podcast today is because it is a Friday. I don't usually put dates to this podcast, but it is a Friday, and I was expecting a couple of clients to have come through with their payments just so that I can also meet my expectations for my team and everything else that goes along with it. And one of them just decided to call up and cancel everything with us. Okay, that's cool. All right. Why did you tell us today on the last day of your invoice and things of that nature? It's just plain rude. But you know what? Things happen. Things don't go according to plan within business. It's a good thing. We've created a business that's profitable and enjoyable, and we've got buffers around that. But I was just thinking, wait a minute, what if this was happening to a business that was actually relying on that money to be paid, in order for them to look at their overheads? That would literally, put them down, So at the end of the day, the truth is, rarely does something work out exactly as we planned, okay? We send out invoices, we expect people to pay, and they don't, or they start ghosting us. I did a podcast around, clients ghosting you earlier on in the season. And this is even true in business. Even when we follow somebody else's plan or digital marketing strategy, or, we listen to a podcast like this to a T, when we complete whatever assignments that we're given, by our coaches or our consultants, and maybe they tell us to post on social media, maybe they tell us to cold call potential clients, and we start having these people hanging up in our face, or they tell us to send out, emails, and we do that. We start sending hundreds of emails without even getting as much as, hey, thank you so much for reaching out, and they tell you to do ads, and you start wasting thousands of dollars on ad spend without even generating any qualified leads. Well, let me tell you something. Even these things, things don't always go according to schedule. Things don't always go according to plan. And the more we normalize this, the better it is, because we are here to create businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. So if you're passionate about doing the work that you're meant to be doing and living an inspired life while you're actually doing this, you're in the right place, my friend. The Online Prosperity Experience is, the show that will help you create a business that's profitable and enjoyable. And my mission is to help coaches and consultants like you to be inspired, to build a brand you're proud of, and to actually create a lifestyle that you love, which is why you need to normalize things not going according to plan within your business. Because if you're not flexible enough, you become brittle, and things that are brittle shatter easily. Okay, you see, let me tell you something. I didn't plan this life. the life that I have right now, where I wake up in the morning, take my kids to school, and all I have to do throughout the whole day is look at my email and see if there's any new client opportunities that I need to respond to, do a video for them, and then eventually at 12 p.m. show up and do my podcast, and then do the work, client work, while my team is also doing most of the heavy lifting. Do you know what I mean? It was supposed to be different. It was completely supposed to be different. I was born in Zimbabwe, okay, where growing up, life was pretty tough for us, all right? And I didn't even have a lot of money or hope that I would even amount to anything. And there was no one to look up to. We had no role models that would actually inspire me to want more, be more, and have more, or even expand my horizons. But my life changed when a bright-eyed Australian teacher came and started working in my school, and she told me, all about Australia and the incredible opportunities that it had to offer. And also, without her teaching me, I saw it in her, how she was happy doing and having all that she wanted while she was traveling around the world. And I saw a world of infinite possibilities for people who actually dream big and had the courage to follow their dreams. And for the rest of my time in school, I worked my butt off so I could learn as much as I could. And a few years later, I ended up in Australia. I couldn't believe that the challenges that I met in life didn't maybe depend on the choices that I made along the way. You know what I mean? And I thought that my wrong decisions were because of bad luck. No, it was just the universe driving me towards where I'm at right now. So sometimes when life didn't go as planned, you would start thinking, wait a minute, is it my fault? What did I do wrong? Or things of that nature. But all of this is all nonsense, and there are no reasons, you know what I mean? Because what if there's no explanation as to why are things happening to you right now? It's just the way, the path that you're going to be on. What if it's just a chain of maybe random events that have nothing in common with any destiny of any sort? I know it's too scary to admit that life could be out of your control, because as human beings, we want to be in control of everything. I remember 2 years ago when, there was the, pandemic coming through. A lot of people, took to the shops and started buying toilet paper just because they wanted to control at least one aspect of their business. But you should just you should just leave, okay? Just leave as you want to, and try and embrace every moment and live in the now, But so what do you do then when life doesn't go as planned? There's a few things that you should remember when life doesn't go as planned, okay? One of them is life happens, and it's not always about us, okay? So many things are happening in life, and it's not about you, mate. It's life is just happening. The tree outside is growing, whether or not you water it or you don't. The flowers are blooming, whether you are there or not, okay? But let me ask you something. When was the last time you saw somebody on Instagram or on TikTok talking about how things didn't go as planned, maybe in their business or things of that nature? Probably never. Right? They're always talking about how things went right and even better, than expected. Nobody talks about when things go wrong in their life. And so we have this, assumption that maybe these things are only just happening to us. All right. Even if you watch on TV, all right, on TV, you could watch an episode of your favorite sitcom where somebody gets born. They go to kindergarten and then they fall in love as a teenager, and then they, get married, they get a job, and then they get 2 kids, and then they retire, and then they die, all in the space of 30 minutes. And if you're watching it on normal program TV plus commercials, all right, not a lot of people are talking about when things don't go according to plan. All right. And that's why we now fall into this expectation or instant gratification. And we have a crisis of anticipation when things don't go according to plan. Because all those influencers, all those people on Instagram, the half-naked girls, they're just selling you on their plan, which lets you, let's face it, may or may not even produce the results that they claim. So the truth is, we are all human. We are all learning. And this is a constant in business and in life. So the more we can actually normalize things not going to as planned, the better our lives actually become. All right. The real work when the real work then is actually being okay when things are not going as planned. All right, because you're not making it about you. Like I said earlier on, life can happen just because you want to accept that, for a moment. You want to learn to appreciate every single moment that comes by, because somebody might not have that opportunity. All right, so you don't want to make it about you. That is, maybe you did something wrong, that you weren't good, or you're not perfect, or you're not spiritual enough to make something happen, or that you're not meant to be doing this kind of work that you're doing just simply because somebody didn't pay you on time. I see this all the time. Some people go to launch their business, or to launch, an offer or a campaign, or maybe just putting out social media posts or things of that nature. And they don't get results that they want, and they immediately give up. They get so discouraged and defeated, when they barely, even out of the gate. They put out an ad today and they're already expecting results tomorrow, simply because of the misguided, social media expectation that we now have of instant gratification and seeing other people who are seemingly doing well in business, whereas you're only just seeing part or what it is that they want to show you. Don't get me wrong. I understand and I know how this feels. I mean, for one of my launches, I followed, let me tell you something, somebody who is really big in our marketing industry, and how they teach and they teach people how to actually launch profitable businesses. And I planned the launch to a T based on the numbers provided. And guess what happened? I failed. All right. I didn't get the response that I was told I was going to get. And at first I assumed it was me that was doing something wrong. And instead I was, of assuming that the plan only worked for her. I have my own sales cycle. I have my own way of, turning people around to become customers that pay, stay, and refer. And my sales cycle is a little bit longer, and there's quite a lot more variables in the way. There are many reasons why things didn't go according to plan. So, some are usually in your control, and most of the things are not. And that's life, and that's a business. Okay, so whenever I search the website or the internet for words of comfort, or to help other people that are coming to me, I realize I'm not the only one that's searching for words like that, because Google gives you, some people are looking, or some people are asking for things like this. Because lots of people are frightened and they feel anxious, and in the most cases, some folk, even they shift the responsibility to something or somebody else just so that they can avoid the blame. No matter what we believe in, we still want the same things, such as acceptance. We want love, we want health, we want wealth, we want relationships, all of those things. And when life doesn't sort of go according to plan, we can't allow ourselves to wallow in that self-pity and actually wait for, the good fortune to come through. And who knows, maybe in the grand scheme of things in the universe, we had no purpose, all along. But we want to just have, that purpose, or we want to hold on to a dream or something else just so that we feel alive. There's a new approach when that you need to start taking when things don't go according to plan. Because as long as you're living, you can't avoid any mistakes. All right, we're here to live, we're here to learn, we're here to contribute. All right, so as long as we learn, we're gonna make some mistakes, because you can't avoid it. You might as well shift your approach, in response to how you actually react when life doesn't work accordingly. Okay, like what I've done today. Okay, so that person didn't pay. Okay, fine. Look at my buffers. Okay, fine. And then what did I do? I snitched on them on this podcast. All right. This is why I encourage my clients to think about their business as an experiment. When I started this podcast, it was an experiment. When I started the business in and of itself, it was an experiment. Because you're experimenting with offers, you're experimenting with marketing, you're testing things out. How the colors that I have for Live Long Digital were not the first colors that I started off with. My colors were blue because blue was my favorite color. But now we've gone for purple and orange. You know why? Because it just looked good in the posts that we were putting out there. You test, you learn, whatever works, you keep. What doesn't work, you ditch. So you start testing things out and you see what works, and then you stay neutral about the results and learning them, and going on and experimenting again, and you want to add extra bonus points if you can actually make the experiments a lot more fun. Like, check this podcast out now. I can't now live without it. I need the podcast more than the podcast needs me. All right, so you can actually start enjoying them. I feel like I've accomplished something if I come in and I speak, if I wax lyrical on the online prosperity experience. Sometimes I actually feel like when I'm listening back to the tapes, because in the morning, when I'm just looking for something intelligent to listen to, I listen to my podcast and I'm like, wow, did I actually say those things? So you have to understand, that the more you enjoy the process, it actually gets better for you. It gets better. Yeah. And let me tell you something. Growing a business is a long game. All right. Especially if you're committed to the growth and to the actual success of it. Especially if you have a mission or purpose that you want to fulfill through your work. The more we can embrace this, the better. So it doesn't mean, you can't do anything to stake the odds in your favor, or, it's just a total crap shot. No, you can focus on the things that you can control. Okay. So, like I said, you create your mission and life can happen, and accept that you have the moment to learn and appreciate whatever comes along with it, because you only have one opportunity to go through this life. So if you're going to go through the life angry or annoyed or bothered, then whose time are you wasting? It's only your time that you're wasting. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, you can only focus on the things that you can control. Right? So once that is in play, you start building up your own resilience. You start building up your own self-trust, so you don't have to take your results personally. When I started on the podcast, I didn't even know what to say. I didn't even know how to begin a podcast. I didn't even know what would work. But guess what? Now I just look at a topic and I just go for it. All right, you embrace the experiment that is business. So for me, every single day that I show up on the podcast, I know that I've done something worthy for my business, and I actually have fun with it. Because you're not the only person in the world. Misfortune is common. Sometimes it seems that people around us may be having perfect lives, or maybe one person buys a house with a backyard you've always dreamt about, and then you can't do that because you're financially strapped, or you see somebody with the latest iPhone or with the latest phone, and you're like, oh my God, look at mine with a screen that's already cracked and things of that nature. Or maybe somebody marries the love of their life and you haven't yet. Or maybe anything can happen due to maybe an unexpected or unfortunate circumstance. Maybe. Let me tell you something. Whether you believe in luck or not, misfortune happens to a lot of people most of the time. Right now, somebody has just gone into a car accident. They didn't plan on that. They left their house and kissed their kids goodbye, and they were hoping to kiss their kids back. But maybe, misfortune happened. Somebody was drunk driving, and then, they just crossed the road, the red light, without even stopping. We can't change that. It's the world we live in. So we deal with these things the best way we know how to, either by smiling or crying, but the choices we make are important. Okay? So don't just sit on your dreams or on your mission, whining and pitying yourself. Use the resources that you have to live the life that is, of your best intention. I mean, at the end of the day, you can choose the strategies that feel good and that are actually aligned with you. And then you can be so tapped into your purpose and, into your work that you're, willing to keep showing up and do whatever it takes to make it happen. Like right now, maybe somebody else would be thinking, I'm going to take the rest of the day off because I can't keep, dealing with these clients that are not paying me. Are you going into a panic? No way. Let your fears go and you discover life is so incredibly diverse that you never get bored exploring it. However, to truly enjoy it, you need to adhere to one critical condition, and no questions. Stop asking yourself why life doesn't go according to the plans that you have, because you don't know the plans that the universe has for you right now. In your shoes, if you're wearing any shoes, your little toe in your left foot is pumping blood right now. Are you controlling that? Right now, the burrito that you just ate is being digested. The nutrients are being distributed to all parts of your body. Are you controlling any of that? So why do you want to control things that you don't seemingly have the power to be controlling? You know? So don't just sit and on the ruins of your dreams, whining and pitying yourself. You want to use the resources that you have in your life, to be part of what's actually happening right now, and never stop movement, because life is movement. Life is growth. If you're not growing, then you're dying. So you want to maneuver and keep growing. When something gets stuck, it can feel a little bit exhausting. It feels like nothing is moving. So deal with the problem that holds you back and make a new start. Find people that can help you. Find, systems, processes, or tools that can actually alleviate you from that pain. Because let me tell you something, man. Everyone has hidden or unfulfilled dreams because we may feel like we're not good enough, or because we think that our efforts are not amounting to anything. So we keep knocking on closed doors again and again, torturing ourselves and still somewhat hoping for the best. I think it was Albert Einstein who mentioned that, it's stupidity to keep doing the same mistake, hoping for a different result. Let me tell you something. If you look at yourself, you look at the successes that you've done along the way, you start building your own resilience, and you start trusting yourself a lot more, and knowing that this too shall pass. Whatever you're going through right now is not the end of it. I mean, if you do any of the things that I'm talking about in here, you're on your path to success, because a lot of us, are being crippled just by a small mishap that's happening in our life. I mean, yes, your life doesn't mean a lot to the universe, but it does to you. It doesn't mean a lot to the whole of the world, but it does to you. You're the only person that really cares. So why on earth are you wasting it? You need to turn around. All right? There are many other doors. I mean, at the end of the day, you're the one that makes your life meaningful, all right? So when your life doesn't go according to the plan that you have in your head, just change your perspective. But you do not want to stop dreaming, Let yourself do the things that you've always postponed. When things are not going according to plan, it means maybe you're either playing a smaller game, or you need to actually expand yourself, something. You could try maybe an art or sports, or go into crafts, or you can travel, you can volunteer, you could start learning new things. Do the things you've always thought about but never had a chance to begin when things are not going according to schedule. There's no reason to wait, because life is happening right now. Like I mentioned earlier on, the birds are flying, the air is breezing, Because at the end of the day, we might think, why is this happening to me? Why am I the only person that's, being faced with all of these things? You got to be mentally strong, because, yes, life is happening, I want to tell you one hard thing, all right, that mentally strong people do when life doesn't go as planned, I mean, it's wild how we actually outgrow what we used to know and what we used to think we could live without. And when, maybe you fall in love, or you start a business and it doesn't work like the way you wanted, life keeps leading us down paths that we would never travel if it were up to us. Let me tell you something. Don't be afraid. Have faith and trust the process. Trust the journey, because it is in the journey that actually makes life a whole lot better. Okay? So don't let your expectations of how life should be blind you into the beauty, of living the beauty of life that is meant for you. I mean, of course, if you're struggling and with maybe trusting the journey because, you're being dealt a lot of bad blows, or, you're trying to tame your expectations right now, just know that you're not the only one that's going through this. It might seem like our situation is the only one, but look at this. Everyone is out there trying to sell their consulting, their training, their information, their expertise, and everyone is looking for a place to belong. Find your own tribe. Find the people that can actually help you to, bring you back on track. I mean, many of us are here with you, working so hard to let go of a lot of other things. Find, your mob. Find your people. Find the presence that you need. Find the acceptance, and then get your thinking back on track. I mean, let me just share with you a small metaphor. I mean, imagine you had a juicy, ripe tangerine sitting in front of your table, in front of you, and you sort of pick it up eagerly, and then you take a bite and you begin to taste it, right? And then you already know how ripe, juicy tangerine should taste. And so, when this one is a bit, spicy, what do you call it? When it's a bit tattier than expected, you make a face. You start making, that face of disappointment, and then maybe you swallow it. You feel cheated out of the experience that you expected of a juicy, tasty tangerine. Or perhaps the tangerine actually tastes completely normal, nothing special at all, and so you swallow it without even pausing to appreciate its flavor. As you move on to the next unworthy bite, and then the next. In the first scenario, the tangerine let you down because it didn't meet your expectations, right? And in the second, it was just too plain because it met your expectations to a T, but it didn't satisfy you. Do you see the irony there? It's either not good or not good enough. So this is how many of us are living our lives, unhappy, right? The more we can normalize things not getting planned, the better it becomes for us. That's why so many people feel left down, left disappointed, because we expect a lot because of all the information and influence that we're seeing on social media, which is unrealistic. And we usually get unexcited about almost everything. You're succeeding right now. The fact that you're living, you're running a business, and you're actually doing the most. Let me tell you something. We are all human. We are all learning, and this is a constant in business and in life. We need to start normalizing, not expecting things to go our way. But nothing really meets your expectations, does it? Why? Because now you've got high standards and high morals. Now, I want you to imagine, you want to try this instead. Remove your expectations, of how that tangerine should taste. You don't know, and you don't expect to know because you haven't tried it yet. Instead, you just genuinely curious, impartial, and you want to open a variety of possible flavors. So you taste it, and then you truly pay attention. You've never tasted this before. And then you notice the juiciness, the texture of the pulp, those strings that come or maybe there's little seeds in there. And then you spit the seeds out there. And also, why, science, what are you doing putting seeds in tangerines? I thought we were way past that. So when you're tasting it, it's simultaneously tangy, and it's tart, and it's sweet, and then there's all these flavors swirling around on your tongue, and all that complex sensation arise. Your awareness as you chew, you're like, this is really good. I can't wait to get another bite. And you don't even know how this tangerine should taste, but now you realize it's different than the rest, and it's remarkable in its own way. It's totally new experience, isn't it? A worthwhile experience because you've never tasted this tangerine before. Let me tell you something. Mindfulness experts often refer this to like the beginner's mind. And that's the reason why a lot of people that start a game, they have what's called beginner's luck, But really, you know what? It's just the result of a mindset that is free of neediness, stifling, or any stifling expectations that you might have. So you must have a mentally strong mind, and there's a mentally strong way for you to actually think and live. Because at the end of the day, yes, life is going to be different. It's not going to be going the way that we expected. Don't wish away any more time waiting for better times to come ahead. Just appreciate where you are. You've come a long way, and you are still learning to grow. Be thankful of the lessons. Take them and make the most of, the things that you're doing right now. And if you're up to it, I'd really love to know, despite the challenges that you're facing right now, or things not going according to plan, what's something good that you could actually appreciate right now if you really wanted to? I want you to leave a comment in the comment section below. All right? Because the more we can normalize things not going according to plan, the better. All right? The real work really is being okay when things don't go as planned and not making it about you. Because just because something didn't happen, it doesn't necessarily mean you were not good or perfect or, you're clumsy or whatever it is. It was just not meant to be. Like I said, I see this all the time. And don't get me wrong, I know how it feels. At the end of the day, we really need to be creating for and relating to our audience. The more you stand, for whatever is happening your way, you build your own resilience and your own self-trust so you don't have to take whatever results personally. I can't wait to see you delivering outstanding results for your clients, and so that you can win their loyalty and you can have, clients singing your praises to their families, to their friends and colleagues at a barbecue, and even strangers on the bus. I want you to answer this question. Despite your challenges right now, what is the one thing that you could actually appreciate, that's really, really going well for you right now? Yes, life might be going unplanned, but this is a new approach. Gratitude. Be grateful for every single moment, that life presents to you. There are many reasons why things don't go unplanned. Some are in your control and some are not. That's just life and business. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, let's continue the conversation in the Live Long Digital community. Become a Live Long Digital community member today. This community is for ambitious entrepreneurs and small business owners with the drive to take control of the future of their businesses and achieve huge success without stress and overwhelm. As you heard, Prosper can help you by teaching you marketing strategies that work. So look no further than the Live Long Digital community of entrepreneurs and highly successful business owners. Join our community today. Find us on www.community.livelongdigital.com.au. Network with other driven entrepreneurs and find the expert guidance you need to take your business to the next level. www.community.livelongdigital.com.au